Are you ready to buy a home but unsure about the mortgage process? The journey from application to closing can feel overwhelming and stressful, but understanding the steps will help you navigate it with confidence and ease. Let's break down the full mortgage loan process here at Creative First Mortgage. Step 1 is the pre-qualification and pre-approval. Before you start shopping for homes, it's important to get pre-qualified and then pre-approved. Pre-qualification gives you a general idea of how much you can afford, but a pre-approval is more thorough. During a pre-approval process, your loan officer will review your credit, income, and assets to give you a specific loan amount. Did you know this? According to the National Association of Realtors, 52% of sellers are more likely to accept an offer from a pre-approved buyer, so this step can give you a competitive advantage. The next step, of course, is the fun step. This is where you get to go home shopping. With your budget in hand, this is where your realtor will work with you to set up the drip campaign. I don't like that. Okay, hold on. We're going to restart that. The next step, of course, is the fun step. It's home shopping. Once you have your pre-approval in hand, you can start looking for homes within your budget. Your realtor will help you find homes that fit your needs and schedule showings. This is an exciting part of the process, but please remember, you can only make an offer once you have found the right home. Submitting your offer is the next step in the process. When you find the home you love, you'll submit an offer to the sellers. If they accept, your file will move on to the next step in the process. If they counter, you may negotiate until both parties agree on terms that fit both sides' agendas. We're going to take that part out. The next step is making an offer. Once you find the home that you love, you'll submit an offer to the sellers. If they accept, you move on to the next step. If they counter, your realtor will help you negotiate and get to terms that appease both parties. This is also when you'll make your earnest money deposit and show the sellers that you're serious. Once we have received your fully signed purchase and sale agreement, your file will move over to our processing team where they will begin setting up the file for disclosures. We will review the file, ask for any additional items or documents that might be needed at this time, and we will begin getting the file ready for the initial disclosures where your initial loan estimate will come out to you, providing you the initial terms the day of loan application. Once we have received all signed disclosures back from you, your file goes over to the processing team, where it will be submitted to the underwriter for review. The underwriter ensures everything checks out, such as your credit, down payment, loan terms, and the property. They may request additional information or documents to clarify any details. Keep in mind, the underwriter can request for any additional items that they see fit in order to satisfy and get the loan to closing. Once the underwriter approves your loan, you'll receive a closing disclosure with the final loan terms, including the interest rate, monthly payment, and closing cost. Our team will request any additional items that they need at that point. We will request all verifications of employment, any verification of rental history, or any items that are needed from the underwriter. Once we have received those conditions, your file will be resubmitted back to the underwriter. Upon review and signing off on all conditions, your file will then move on to the next step of clear to close. Once the underwriter has signed off on all conditions and they feel confident that this file is ready to move forward, they will issue what is known as a CTC, clear to close, and your file will then move from the closing or over to the closing department from the underwriting team. At the closing department, this is when our team will begin working with you to schedule the closing. At that time, the investor and the title company will work to balance all final figures and making sure all documents are ready to go for the final signing. Once your closing has been scheduled and the time has arrived to sign your paperwork, you will go to the location provided on your closing and you will sign all of your final documentation. Once signed, you will receive the keys to your home and all final items will be recorded with the investor and the loan will then move to the funding stage. At this point, you get to enjoy moving into your new home and celebrating a huge milestone. Thank you for choosing Creative First Mortgage.